I move we send House Bill 722 to the floor with the do pass recommendation.
All right, have a motion by Senator Taves, a second by Senator Taylor to send House Bill 722 to the floor with a do pass recommendation. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion has carried. And clear sailing this time. So, and I will be carrying it on the floor, yes. Yep. Thank you, Representative Ehlers. Next, we have House Bill 707, Senator Taves.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Ben Taves, Senator for District 4, Coeur d'Alene. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. House Bill 707 has a simple purpose: removing red tape for homeowners trying to finance an ADU or secondary residential structure on their property. Under current rules, getting separate mortgage for a backyard cottage or secondary unit often requires putting the property through a full, expensive, and time-consuming subdivision process. Before we walk through the mechanics of the bill, I want to address what this legislation is and what it is not. First, we know that land cost is a primary driver of housing prices. By allowing for compact ownership options, we are expanding opportunities for families and small builders without spending a dime of public subsidy. Second, this is not a workaround to eliminate zoning. This reform modernizes the subdivision procedure. It does not change land use classification. Every resulting lot must independently comply with local infrastructure requirements, building codes, setbacks, and lot coverage standards. This legislation is about fixing a financing barrier for ADUs, not creating a backdoor for outward development, subdivisions by another name, or agricultural land fragmentation. So, quick walkthrough on the bill. Here is exactly how Section 2 of the bill, which adds new Section 50-1335 to Idaho Code, accomplishes this goal with strict safeguards in place. It creates a streamlined administrative process by empowering cities and counties to establish an administrative process for land division that bypasses traditional burdensome subdivision platting requirements. This applies specifically to land that already contains an existing or approved ADU or secondary residential structure. 1A gives the homeowner must prove parcel separation is required for mortgage or financing purposes and does not create additional residential entitlements or surpass the density allowed by applicable zoning regulations. The one and done rule, 1B, the split does not authorize any additional dwelling units to be built, nor does it authorize further land divisions on either of the newly created parcels. This restriction permanently attaches to the original parcel and runs with the land. Each resulting parcel must have adequate legal access and utility service in accordance with applicable local standards. We have included several built-in protections for municipalities in rural areas. Property owners cannot use loopholes like conveyance, reconfiguration, or recombination and resplit methods to recursively divide their land over and over again. Any division made through this process must be formally recorded with the county recorder, and it must include a declaration legally restricting further division or development. And finally, the bill explicitly states that it does not alter agricultural protections for bona fide divisions of agricultural land, nor does it authorize the creation of new building lots in violation of local zoning or density standards. I believe this is a measured, market-driven, step-by-step regulatory friction preventing homeowners from improving their property. I stand for questions.
All right. Thank you, Senator Taves. Are there any questions? I do have one.
Yeah.
So this provides an option to divide the land for an ADU, for example. So what happens in the case here, I was just trying to think through this. You know, a lot of people do have a primary mortgage, deed of trust on their property, which would include the entire parcel. Let's say it's a half-acre lot, for example. And then we allow a division of land. So the purpose of doing maybe an ADU in the backyard with a separate financing on it, how would that original financing be treated on the first position, I guess.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Really, that's up to the homeowners to work out with their mortgage company. They'd have to figure that out. And, it could cause them to have to do another appraisal with them, or there's different things that it could cause to happen. But it just gives the option for them to do it if their mortgage company will allow it.
Okay. So I'm thinking most mortgage companies would probably not want to give up any turf on that as far as their deed of trust would go. But in this case, certainly if the mortgage was paid off and the original house and property was free and clear of any debt on that, then you could carve this off and provide a mortgage separately, I assume.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think in a lot of cases, a lot of people have a large amount of equity in their homes. And I think that in those cases, it's probably going to be a lot easier than if you're really close, to the 80% loan to value mark. But if you have a lot of equity, it probably opens the doors for this type of split.
Sure. Or perhaps the financing company would certainly take a second on the part that's carved out in that case. Because I would be really surprised that the originator of the mortgage would want to change anything on it, because they wouldn't have to. But I do think this is a good option to have and provide for that. Are there any other questions? I see none, so thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have anybody signed up to testify. Is there anybody here that wishes to testify on this? I see none. So I don't know if you have any more to add to that. You're welcome to join us here. Senator Taves, committee, we have House Bill 707. What is the will? Senator Taylor?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I recommend that we send House Bill 707 to the floor with a due pass recommendation.
All right. We have a motion by Senator Taylor, second by Senator Den Hartog, to send House Bill 707 to the floor with a due pass recommendation. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion has carried.